So these advantages we'll be using our Caribbean bead. Caribbean beads come in different colors and different shapes. We have round Caribbean beads too. Then I'll be using size 10 sugar beads in gold color. You can replace these sugar beads with either pearls or crystals or melon beads. Any small bead at all that will work fine with this. Then I'll be using 0.7 fish line. So let's get into the video. To start, we are going to be putting 3 beads into our fish line, and the 3 beads will be 1 sugar bead, 1 Caribbean bead, and then another sugar bead. So this is what we have in our fishing line. Then we'll be crossing with 1 Caribbean bead. So this is what you should have, a ring of 4, but this does not look like a ring now, it looks more like a rectangle. So this is what you should have. Then we continue by putting 1 sugar bead each on each side of our fishing line. So we put 1 sugar bead on the left fishing line, we put another one on the right fishing line, and then we cross with a Caribbean bead. So this is what you have. You put 1 sugar bead on your left fishing line, you put 1 sugar bead on your right fishing line, then we cross or loop with a Caribbean bead. So this is what we have after doing that. So we continue our work by putting 1 sugar bead on each fishing line. That's 1 sugar bead on the right fishing line, another sugar bead on the left fishing line, and then we cross with our big bead. So this is what we continue to do until we have 14 rings on this row. So I think we have 3 rings now. This 1, 2, 3. So we continue this until we have 14 rings on this row, and then I'll meet you at the 14th ring. I have my 14 rings now. You count this is 14. You count the sugar beads, you'll notice that they are 14 in number. So I told us to stop at the 14th ring because we'll be turning at the 15th ring. So we can start working on the next row. To turn on our left fishing line, we add 1 sugar bead. On our left fishing line, we add 1 sugar bead, 1 Caribbean bead, and then we cross with 1 sugar bead to make our first turning. So this is basically like making a four ring mat, just that the type of bead we are using this time around is different. So we successfully make our first turning. Then let's make our second turning so we can start working on the next row. To make our second turning on the same left fish line, on our left fish line, that's the fish line away from your work, this particular one, we start with a Caribbean bead. So you put a Caribbean bead first, then our sugar bead, and then we cross with a Caribbean bead. So we've made our second turning now, and then we can start working on the next row. So this is what your work should look after turning. Now we can start working on this next row. I'm going to move this way, flip it this way, so I can work easily. So to start working on our next row, just like we do our matting normally, we start our right fish line into the next 1 bead, and then on our left fishing line, we start 1 sugar bead, and then we cross with 1 Caribbean bead. So you start your right fish line to the next 1 bead, then on your left fish line you start 1 sugar bead first, and then we cross with 1 Caribbean bead. Just like this. So this is what you should have. We continue our work by starting our right fishing line into the next 1 bead, Then on our left fishing line, we insert one sugar bead first, and then we cross with one Caribbean bead. You can either cross or loop, any one you prefer. Just make sure you are holding your work very tight. So we cross with one Caribbean bead, just like this. So we are going to repeat the same process of inserting our right fish line into the next bead until we get to the bead before the last here. So I'm going to meet you at this particular bead here, this bead before the last. So now I'm on the bead before the last here. I will continue our usual process of inserting our right fishing line into that bead. We insert our right fish line into the bead. Then on the left fish line, we insert one sugar bead and then cross with one Caribbean bead. On the left fish line, we insert one sugar bead and cross with one Caribbean bead. Just like this. So we'll be turning on this last bead so we can start working on the next row, on our third row. So to turn, we insert our right fish line into the next one bead. That's the last bead here. And then on the same right fish line, we insert one Caribbean bead and then we cross with one sugar bead to have our first turning. So on the same right fish line, we insert a Caribbean bead and then we cross with a sugar bead to get our first turning. So this is what your work should look like now. If your work is not looking like this, make sure you choose where you made a mistake where you can correct yourself. This is what your work should look like now. So we make our second turning and then start working on the third row. I'm going to flip this. So this is what I have now. Then to make our second turning, on our left fishing line, on this left fishing line, that's fishing line away from the wall, we insert one Caribbean bead, one sugar bead, and then we cross with one Caribbean bead. So on the left fishing line, we insert one Caribbean bead, like this, one sugar bead, and then we cross or loop with one Caribbean bead. So I'm looping now. Make sure you hold your work very tight. So this is what you should have now after turning to the next row, so that we can start working on our third row. The same process of inserting our right fish line into the next bead. Then on our left fish line, we insert one sugar bead and then we cross with one Caribbean bead. So we are going to continue the same process of inserting our right fish line into the next bead over there. Then on our left fish line, we insert one sugar bead and then cross with one Caribbean bead. So we are going to do this until we have 7 rows. We'll be needing 7 rows for this project. So I'm working on my third row now. I'm going to work off camera until I get my 7 rows, and then after that we meet again. So I have my 7 rows now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what we have to do now is to give our back shape and then join the sides together. To do that, we want to have 3 rows on each side of the bag, and then 1 for the base. So we count 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we fold here. So just fold like this. Then the other side too, we count 3, and then we fold. So this is what we have after folding. Now we can join the sides of the bag. So join the sides of your bag, get your fishing line and pass it through this bottom bead over here. That's the bead, this one bead at the base. Pass your fishing line through the bead there. So this is what we have. After doing that, you pass your right fishing line through the next bead on the right, this bead over here on the right, just one bead, and then you pass your left fishing line through the same bead on the right. I don't know if you are seeing it, through the same bead on the left. So you pass your right fish line through this bead, your left fish line through this bead, and then we cross with one bead, one Caribbean bead. So you cross with one Caribbean bead like this. This is what you should have. The next step is to pass our right fish line through this bead there, and our left fish line through this bead, and then we cross again. So we pass our right fish line through the next bead on the right, and then our left fish line through the next bead on the left, and then we cross again with one Caribbean bead. So lastly, we pass our right fishing line through the next right bead, just like we've been doing. And our left fish line through the next left bead. After doing that, then you pass your sugar bead through any of your fishing line, the left or the right, and then you tie. Make sure it's very tight. So this is what we have now. The first side of our bag is done. All we just have to do now is to pass this fishing line through the body of the work and cut it off. So we are going to repeat the same thing we did on this side, on the other side, so join the other side of the bag too. To fix the handle of our bag, we start by inserting our fish line on this sugar bead on either side of our bag. So you put your fish line through that sugar bead over there. That's the sugar bead at the corner here. Then we make sure that the two ends of our fish line are aligned. Join the two ends of your fish line together like this. Then we can start inserting the beads for the handle. So I'm going to be using my sugar bead and my Caribbean bead. You can pick any design you want. You can do any style for the handle of your bag. So I think I'll be inserting 3 sugar beads, 3 Caribbean beads, then sugar beads, then Caribbean beads, then sugar beads. So just insert yours in any order you want. So I'm done inserting my beads into the fishing line. I made a little twist. I added my sugar beads at some point. So you can just design anyhow you want, be creative. So now after inserting our beads into our fishing line, the next thing we want to do is to come and cross it at this other end. So one part of the fishing line goes from the right to left on this bead here, just like this. Then the other fishing line goes from the left to the right. So after crossing, you want to make sure you are holding this very tight so that the handle of your fishing line does not get flappy. After crossing, then the next thing to do is just to pass your fishing line through the work type, and then you cut off. And then with this, we have our perfect candy bag. So you can go ahead and insert your pouch inside the bag. Then we have our complete candy bag.